back there, that's where I put my tissues when I was blowing my nose when I had my cold. Sorry, I had nowhere else to put them. Don't touch that stuff. These are where the germs are. By the way, this is kind of a little aside, but it's kind of cute. How do we say hello when we meet somebody in the United States of America? We shake hands, okay? Now, you probably don't know this, but there are 30 times more germs on a human hand than in a human mouth. Did you get that? 30 times more germs average on a human hand than in a human mouth. Now, does anybody know how my brethren, my countrymen of Italy say hello to one another when they meet them for the first time? A kiss on the cheek. Now, you might say, I'm not going to do that, Joe, because I don't know you. But I'm telling you, you're a lot better off kissing me right now than shaking my hand. That's a scientific fact. Now, how does the Asian world say hello?
They bow.
They don't touch anybody. They touch themselves. Why are we Americans that like to slop our germs all over everybody when we say hello? If I say hello to everybody in this room when you came in and shook your hand, that's the time to get the Purell out. Okay? Before I start getting itch on my nose, watery eye, whatever. That's the time. You have young children, they play in the playground. You know, they're in the ball pit. Anybody go to those Chuck E. Cheese's? You have Chuck E. Cheese's here? With the ball pits? Those are germ pits, guys. They're not ball pits. Don't let your kids go in those things. And if they do, hose them down when they get out. Right? That's how germs are spread. Very simple. Clean hands, don't touch things. So actually, one more time. Shake my hand and kiss me.
Oh, yes.
Most people say no. I appreciate it. All right, so let's jump off of that. Is everybody good on, we spent a lot of time on infection because it's so huge. All right? We got about 10 minutes left, Tom. Do we have a cutoff time? Is everybody okay? Does anybody have to leave or right at 1 o'clock? If you do, I'm not offended. I understand. Okay?
About 10 to 15 minutes.
Okay, I'll be done. I'll be done in 10 to 15 minutes. No worries. Okay, so let's talk about a couple of things, the human element of healthcare. Let's talk about slips and falls, safety, ergonomics, right? Let's go quick through this. This is common sense stuff. There's a study done in a nursing home, and they looked at 213 falls, all right, over a period of 6 months or whatever it was to get these 213 falls. 27 people fell on soft surface or carpet flooring. You can trip, they can scuff, they can catch their foot, they can trip over something. You can fall anywhere in the world. Accidents happen. 186 of those 213 falls were on hard surface. Happened to be VCT. Okay? Now, it's very easy to understand why someone would fall on this more than this, right? Static coefficient of friction, especially when wet, this is more dangerous than this. But let me show you something that's even more alarming. It's bad enough that you got, what, 10 times the falls by just changing the flooring? Look at the injury rate. Right now, if you're 65 years or older, I don't think anybody in this room qualifies, if you're 65 years or older and you trip on this floor right here, you have got a 15% chance of being injured. Injury is defined as needing medical attention. So if I fall down right now, and okay, that hurt a little bit, but I'm good, I go. No, I needed to go see a doctor. I got a contusion, an abrasion, a fracture, or something. That's what that injury is. All right? Look what happens when you fall on hard surface. If you run a hospital, if you own a senior living facility, and you don't know this, you're crazy. This goes right to cost of ownership, guys. It's not about the fact that you have to pay for just the care, thanks to the Never events, right, of 2008. You know what those are? We'll talk about in a second. Medicare and Medicaid Never events. You slip and fall in a hospital, you get hurt, the hospital pays for all care. They used to be able to bill Medicare and Medicaid. We used to pay for that. So you slip and fall in a hospital, we as taxpayers used to pay that bill. There's some things our government does right, and I applaud this one. Why are we paying for negligence? All right? So you need to know the stat. All right? And there it is. All right? In 2011, it was in 2008 or 9 when they came out with these lists. But in 2011 is when it was implemented. And as of 2011, there are 28 Never events that are listed. The two that I pointed out are, number one, is serious injury from a fall, and also hospital-acquired infections. Those are two things that you are no longer allowed to bill Medicare and Medicaid for. So it's very costly to the hospital. Ergonomics. Does anybody know, for the next Starbucks card, because we're getting quiet here, all right, if you haven't won, tell me in miles, how many miles a nurse walks in an average 12-hour shift. First one without going over, it's like the Price is Right. Closest without going over wins.
6.
Yell them out. 6,
14,
8,
10,
5,
14.
14,
25.
25. I wish it was 25. There'd be no hard surface ever sold again. Actually, it's right on 5. The gentleman in the back. There you go. 5 miles. Are there any runners in the room? 5Kers? Marathons? Anybody? Nobody runs? Okay, you run? All right, all right. So 5 miles is a long way. From here, if I ran 5 miles from right here, where would I end up? Would I be at that beautiful art museum? I'd probably be over at an art museum or the mall. That's a pretty long way. So think about nurses and staff that are on their feet all day long. Do you think they like walking on terrazzo or VCT? No. I travel in airports every day, like I told you, every day. I hate airports with terrazzo because I always get off an airplane at one end of the airport and my gate for my connection is always at the other. I don't know why that happens. I've never had the gate next door to me. I've always had to go across the airport. I just did this in Chicago yesterday. I woke up this morning, my calves were burning. And I do run. And I work out. I'm like, why do my calves hurt? Oh, I know. I just walked across the entire O'Hare Airport yesterday, dragging a piece of luggage on terrazzo. All right? So soft surfaces can help you here. But here's the trick. Okay? Yep. Skip that when I get to that. Okay. There's a University of Pittsburgh did a study. Just by putting down soft flooring does not solve the problem. Matter of fact, there's a point of diminishing returns where the softness of the flooring is actually a negative to the ergonomics of the leg in the back. So what happens is, it's like if you've ever run like you do, how about when you run on the beach? Is it easier or harder than running on the beach?
Harder.
It's a lot harder because the resistance, you sink into the sand. Same thing with floor covering. If you have high pile heights or very, very soft cushion backings, both Tandis flooring, okay? These products do not help you with leg fatigue. These are perfect for my daughter who works at a supermarket. She could stand on this all day long, and that'd be a beautiful thing. But if you have to walk 5 miles, you don't want to do it on something extremely soft or something hard. You want to get in the middle. You want a firm cushion that has very little give to it. So it's like running on a rubberized track compared to running on asphalt, right? The rubberized track is more forgiving, but it's still firm enough that you're not sinking in. That's why runners run on tracks, not on hard ground. All right? So when you talk about flooring that would be suitable for that, rubber is a good solution for that. It does have a slight cushion factor, but it is also firm enough. Now, the interesting thing is that hybrid resilient flooring does the same thing. It's got a soft textile, and it's soft and comfortable, but it's got very little, if any, give. Make sense? Also helps with rolling traffic. If you have soft, cushiony floors, they are terrible for rolling traffic. You need a firm, dense floor. Now, obviously, no carpet, no soft surface flooring can compete with this for rolling. But when you're looking at the big picture of everything else we talked about, you want to bring the rolling resistance down. All right, last part, acoustics. The last thing I want to talk about, because it's intimately important. Critically important for healthcare facilities to improve their acoustics. Not only for patient experience, but for privacy, for HIPAA laws. All right? We have had so much study. Studies have been done for 50 years about the effects of improving acoustics on the healing environment. Every study ever done says without a reasonable doubt that if you improve the acoustics of a healing environment, you improve the healing outcome. End of story. If it's quieter, people get less stressful, less anxiety, lower blood pressure, and better sleep. Those things all equal healing. Every healthcare facility struggles with this. Every patient discharge survey, these HCAHPS surveys, there's a section on HCAHPS just on how noisy your hospital stay was. Goes right to the bottom line. This is huge. So how do we address acoustics in an indoor environment? Let's look at this room. There are 3 things that could help reduce the noise and reverberation in this room right now. What are they? Ceiling? Everybody says that first. Wall and?
Floor.
Okay. Now, would everybody say they're pretty much equal?
No.
No? You don't think so?
The acoustic engineer said the ceiling's the most important.
Yes. Because they're talking about reverberation. They're talking about noise reduction. What about impact? Noise origination. Does any noise right now in this room originate from the ceiling other than the HVAC system if it's up there? 0. Okay? Think about your hospital corridor, your senior living corridor. Okay? Over 50%, if not more, of the noise originates from where? The floor, guys. Foot traffic, rolling traffic, carts, bed cards, linen, the floor. If this was a VCT floor right now, or let's do a terrazzo floor, Okay? So if this room was to